Earlier this week, the Society of Family Planning released some new abortion estimates that covered the first 3 months of 2024. It was part of their #WeCount project. But among the trends that were analyzed in the report, it showed a disturbing rise in so-called telehealth abortions. And, that's disturbing enough. But what else was in the report and what can be trusted in that report? We're here to break down the numbers is Dr. Michael New, who is the Associate Scholar at the Charlotte Lozier Institute. Dr. New, welcome to Washington Watch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
All right. So what is the abortion data that the Association of Family Planning is reporting?
Sure. Every so often they come out with abortion estimates. They do a survey. It's not a comprehensive count. And they reported that abortions went up during the first 3 months of 2024. They reported about a 13% increase. I think there's some reasons to be a bit skeptical. Prior to 2022, this organization had never done any U.S. abortion estimates. Another group, the Guttmacher Institute, also does abortion estimates. Sometimes there are disparities between their numbers and Guttmacher's. And also, it's only relatively recently that Society for Family Planning has started counting these telehealth abortions. So I think that's inflating the numbers a little bit. So again, I think there's reasons to be concerned, but I also don't think there's reasons for despair either.
Okay, before we go on, let's define what we're talking about with telehealth abortions.
Sure, that there are states where doctors can interface with a woman seeking an abortion through Zoom or some other electronic means, and after this online appointment, they can sell them or send them chemical abortion pills through the mail. So that means a woman is obtaining a chemical abortion without an in-person medical exam. I think this is fatal for unborn children, but terrible public health. If a woman is in ectopic pregnancy, takes an abortion, that can be fatal. So it's really horrible public health and horrible public policy.
Absolutely. And I wanted that definition to be clear because after the Dobbs decision came down, there were many conservatives that have been saying that abortion is now solely a state's issue. But the left certainly doesn't think of it that way. They see this as a national level issue, and thereby these chemical abortion pills are being sent even into red states that have protections for abortion and overriding the laws. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That unfortunately, about 6 politically liberal states have what are known as shield laws. And these shield laws protect medical professionals who would go ahead and send these chemical abortion pills into pro-life states or into states with pro-life laws. So again, the other side does not view this as a state issue. They're trying to nationalize the issue. Again, many politically liberal states are effectively exporting abortion. They're passing laws that would protect legally medical professionals who do send these dangerous chemical abortion drugs into states that have pro-life laws.
Dr. New, I think that is so important for our viewers and listeners to hear. I know for a fact when I was in Congress, when the Dobbs decision came down, that was immediately the message that was being sent, at least through the Republican Party, that, Roe v. Wade has been overturned. Now it's a state issue. And so the buzz was it's a state issue. It's a state issue. For some, they have kept that mentality. I certainly have not, because I see that, number one, it's not strictly a state issue. But number two, the Democrats certainly don't look at it that way. And what we're discussing right now is absolute evidence of that. We have to understand this is an issue that goes far beyond the states. Certainly the states are huge in this battle, but it goes far, far beyond that. So what's the good news in the midst of the data, at least from your perspective? Is there any good news?
Well, essentially, abortions have quit being performed by and large in many of those states that have strong pro-life laws in place. There's about 14 states right now that protect all preborn children, and the number of abortions there are zero or very close to it. And we do have a good birth data from a lot of states that have passed strong pro-life laws. There's 3 studies looking at Texas birth data, which shows that the Texas Heartbeat Act has actually saved 1,000 babies every month. So one thing I tell pro-life audiences is that abortions are often hard to count because women go out of state, they go to other countries, but babies are easy to count. And if more children are being born, that's very powerful evidence that these pro-life laws are having an impact and are saving lives. So the laws that we are passing are still doing some good.
That's really a good point. Is there any place to get accurate counts? We hear all these types of things. Is it even possible to get an accurate account?
I think that it's going to be a lot more difficult, especially with these telehealth abortions. They're unregulated. And I think that some of the companies that send these abortion pills through the mail have incentives to inflate their numbers. I think the analysts who are really interested in the instance of abortion need to look at birth data. The government doesn't do a lot of things well, but it can count the number of babies being born. And we have good data from Texas, good data from other states that have strong pro-life laws, that more babies are in fact being born. So I think counting abortions is going to be tough, but the birth data does provide powerful evidence that our pro-life laws are saving lives and are building a culture of life and are doing a lot of good.
Thank you, Dr. Michael New. Great information. We appreciate so much you breaking down all of this and for all the work that you do at the Charlotte Lozier Institute. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks for joining us today.
Much appreciated.